I guess we should start out by saying I think maybe at some point in this future your brand new born baby daughter may listen to this and say, gosh, that's where Dad was about the time I was born. Congratulations, you have your third child coming, right?
That's right. Thank you. I hope that doesn't happen, because if that happens, my wife will not let me live that down.
Yeah, what is the situation? Can you explain that a little bit better?
Sure. Yeah, we are due with our third. We've got a boy that's 4, Christopher, and a girl that's 2, Sloan, and we've got another daughter coming. She's due December 6th. And with our 2 previous, we induced for labor, and we got to our due date. And on this one, it seems like she's ready to come early. So we've had a couple of trips to the hospital already, spent the night in the pull-out couch next to my wife in bed. And, there was at one point the doctors were like, this baby's coming now. So
yeah.
we thought it was go time already a couple times. But Coach Holly's wife, Linda, is got her ringer on, and Steph knows to call her if something comes up. And regardless of what the score is or where we are tonight, if the baby's coming, the baby's coming. So Coach Hildebrandt drove separate, coming straight from his job as a teacher, and he doesn't know this yet, but when he gets here, I'm going to ask for the keys to his car in the event that happens, and I will be rolling about 100 miles an hour down the interstate, not trying to miss the birth of my daughter. So hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, we'll be prepared for it.
Are you here, and you'll know as a father what I'm talking about, and as a married person, are you here with Stephanie's permission?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not be here without it. She's the boss, and everyone that knows us well knows that. So I would not be here without her blessing. And if there was any chance that we thought this baby was coming in the near future, I wouldn't have been able to make this trip. But she hasn't had any contractions today. She's doing great. And my wife is as involved in this as I am. And she loves these guys. She loves our program. She wants us to win as much as anybody. And she knows this is just as important to her that we pull out a big road win tonight. So I'm definitely here with her blessing.
Assistant Coach Jimmie Williams is with us here at halftime, and you're from a family, you've got, 12 siblings?
That's right, actually 13.
13,
yeah. Yeah, so we've got a huge family, and we're all very close, most of which are in Kansas City. I've got a sister in Brazil and a sister in Denver, Colorado, but other than that, everybody's home in Kansas City, so it's great. Home games like the other night against Baker, half of the cheering section, I think, was at some point related to me or married into the family or knows, close friends. So
you might help us set an attendance record this year, actually.
Right.
Hey, this has been fun, and thanks for coming, but now we're done.
That's right.
Let's talk a little bit of coaching. You come to the Jewel staff to work for Larry Holly, but you played at MNU. Were recruited by Coach Holly, right?
So that's right.
What's that like to switch allegiances?
Man, my allegiance with Mid-America will never change. That's my alma mater. Those guys are family to me. I still call them for coaching advice. Coach Lamar, who coached me, I graduated in 2002. He's still the head coach of Mid-America Nazarene. Matt Keeley and Adam Oots are assistant coaches there. Those guys are old teammates of mine and like brothers. So, making this move was hard for a lot of people to understand because, I'm at William Jewell, and that's your hated rival, and, people don't get that. But, coming to work for Coach Holly is the reason that I made this move. Not because it's in Kansas City and I'm around family. I mean, that's great, but and my wife's on board too. She's the greatest coach's wife ever. And if this wasn't a great move for my career, I wouldn't have come to William Jewell. But Coach Holly and I have kept in touch since 1998 when he recruited me. Coach Lee Carricker, the late Lee Carricker, recruited me as well. I remember conversations with him on the phone, and it was really down to the wire between Mid-America and William Jewell. My dad was roommates with Coach Lamar at Mid-America Nazarene. I grew up going to his camps. Both my parents went to Mid-America. So the fact that it was even close, I think, speaks to a lot of how much I think of Coach Holly and of Coach Carricker and of William Jewell as a whole. But then once I made the decision, Coach Holly, like a lot of other coaches, he could have handled it totally different. He could have been mad or upset. I mean, every time we played against each other, we stayed afterwards and talked. Every time I bumped into Coach Holly at Final Fours or wherever we coaches run into each other, I've always had the utmost respect for him. And then you add to that the opportunity to come work for a Hall of Fame coach, a guy that has as many wins as Coach Holly and has been through it. It's just, not just from moving my way up in the coaching ranks, but, the benefit of learning from Coach Holly. I'm going to be a better coach working for Coach Holly. I'm already a better coach just being here since August. I'm learning things constantly, and man, how he treats people is second to none. I don't think I've ever met anybody that says anything negative about Coach Holly. And then the guy is such a competitor too. Most guys that compete like that are jerks, or you either love them or you hate them. Nobody hates Coach Holly.
Yeah.
He's got an assistant that's from Mid-American Nazarene. I think that right there says how awesome Coach Holly is as a person, and I'm so thankful to be working on his staff.
Assistant Coach Jimmie Williams with us, so I got to ask you, Rocky Lamar of MNU, Larry Holly of William Jewell, similar in a lot of ways?
They are, yeah. They're very similar. They come from a lot of the same backgrounds. A lot of their war stories are the same. You hear about road wins in the heart of America, but also they're very different, in their approaches. Coach Lamar has always been a guard-minded coach. And is phenomenal. I mean, he's phenomenal developing every position, and he's had great players at both positions. And Coach Holly, he's been really good with post players. And his approach to offensive basketball, where to get the ball, what we're looking for each possession, both of them are very different. Coach Holly's had a lot of success at running a system offensively and throwing the ball in the paint. And Coach Lamar's been more traditionally a run and gun type of guy. Both of them are good at what they've done and have played to their strengths. But yeah, if you took the best of Coach Lamar and the best of Coach Holly, you would be a legend in this business. And to have played for one and now to work for another is a huge benefit. I mean, you could sit here and talk for an hour about what they both do well, but all I know is that's the beauty of coaching, is you could be totally different. There's no blueprint to how to be successful here, and both of them are different, but they both have had such a huge success, not only in the win-loss column, but one thing I've noticed coming here to William Jewell that's similar to Mid-America is the alumni base. I was here less than a month, and they had the Hall of Fame deal over homecoming, and they honored 6 different teams here at William Jewell. And Coach introduced me to everybody as a Mid-America guy. I actually got booed at the dinner. But to hear their stories, and it's crazy, a team from 1955, 1965, these guys still all come back. They come back and they tell stories like it was yesterday. And that's not normal. A lot of coaches in this business have a little success and go chase the dream of being the LA Lakers coach one day. And both Coach Holly and Coach Lamar have stayed and turned down bigger school offers and other opportunities to build something special. And they both have done that. And that's something that I look at with such admiration. And Coach Holly still keeps in touch with all his guys. I mean, he spends a lot of time in the office. He gets phone calls all the time from players from the past telling him good luck. He's got such a huge network of former players that still stay so connected to the program, which is so neat. And I think that that's the number one reason I got into coaching is, when I'm gone, I want people to come back and say positive things about me. And, hopefully it's way down the road. But when Coach Lamar and Coach Holly are gone, both those guys are going to have thousands of people that sit there and say, you know what, that guy impacted my life, not as a basketball player, but as a man.
Jimmie Williams is the assistant coach at William Jewell in his first year. Finally, what do you bring to the program? You talked about what great coaches are. What are you, and what do you bring to this program?
What do I bring to the program? I'm a guy that works hard. I love coaching, and the recruiting side of things, the relationship side of basketball is something that I love to do. I love getting out on the road. I love watching basketball and knowing what we're looking for. And that's something that we as a staff have been getting together and talking a lot about. What do we need next year? What are we looking for from a recruiting standpoint? How do we develop these players? And I think that's something that I bring to the table is player development and recruiting. On the court coaching, and Coach Holly's been great. He's given me a ton of freedom to do a lot of those things. We're putting in a lot of the stuff that I brought with, and still using a lot of the stuff that Coach Holly has done and had a lot of success with. And that's something that I think Coach Holly's awesome at. I've been here a couple months, and he's giving me the freedom defensively. We're doing a lot of the stuff that we did at North Greenville University. I had some success, and when I came out here for the interview, just to sit down with Coach Holly, we've obviously known each other for almost 20 years now, but when there was an opening on his staff and we sat down and talked, I came out here from South Carolina, and we spent 2 hours in the office with the dry erase marker just drawing up stuff. And
that's good coach stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and if anybody recorded that, it would have been completely boring to anyone else. But that was the highlight, I think, of our week. Is just talking hoops. Oh yeah, this reminds me of something we put in, and he threw it up, and we are already finishing each other's sentences and on the same page about what we're looking for. And I think that there's a lot of things that I bring to the table. Being from Kansas City helps. I've got a lot of the recruiting networks in the Midwest, and a lot of the guys that I know are Kansas City guys.
Coach, we're out of time. Thank you. We're going to do this again, and I was going to ask you all the questions I still have for you, but that was great.
Oh, we didn't get, how far have we get? 20%? How far down the list of
I would
questions?
say about 20%.
All right, cool. So we got 5 more times getting together.
Jimmie Williams has been our guest here at halftime, the brand new assistant coach for the Cardinals, and we're back with more after this.